Okay, now we've got section 4. Complete the notes below, write one word only, no number, just word. Now just again you're going to focus synonyms, right? In part 4, again they will just observe whether you can find the right answer and understand English language, especially the synonyms. In part 3, they see whether you can find the right information from some confusing information through multiple choice questions. They check that. So let's take a start. Use of soil, underline soil, to reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So now what are they doing? They are this whole by the way, in part 4 they will give you a part of a lecture. Part of a lecture means not full lecture, only one portion of the lecture, and that is usually of 6-7 minutes. So this is the part of a lecture, the use of soil to reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. You can see Ratan Lal, okay, and then 13% is given. So when they talk about Ratan Lal 13%, it means they have come to the first bullet point. Clear? After that, the next bullet point is erosion. Now when they speak about erosion in the audio, you have to be active. Erosion is more likely in soil that is. Now listen, for in soil that is, for example, if the answer is going to be dirty soil, for example, dirty soil. So they will say soil that is dirty. In the audio, they will say dirty soil, or they will say soil is dirty, or soil which is dirty. You understand? So whatever they are going to say about the soil in the audio, that will be the answer. Now I play the audio.
You will hear part of a lecture about a way of reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
As we saw in the last lecture, a major cause of climate change is the rapid rise in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere over the last century. If we could reduce the amount of CO2, perhaps the rate of climate change could also be slowed down. One potential method involves enhancing the role of the soil that plants grow in with regard to absorbing CO2. Ratan Lal, a soil scientist from Ohio State University in the USA, claims that the world's agricultural soils could potentially absorb 13% of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the equivalent of the amount released in the last 30 years, and research is going on into how this might be achieved. Lal first came to the idea that soil might be valuable in this way, not through an interest in climate change, but rather out of concern for the land itself and the people dependent on it. Carbon-rich soil is dark, crumbly and fertile, and retains some water. But erosion can occur if soil is dry, which is a likely effect if it contains inadequate amounts of carbon.
Before that, there was a lot of information, blah, 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 blah. And then they come to it, dry, right? Soil is dry. So whatever. Now you got to be alert. I mean, at times as you are listening, you're not writing, you might go to sleep as well. Eyes open, but actually sleeping. So therefore, that 13% and these things, and wait patiently when the answer is going to come. Okay, after that, the very next point, Lal found soil in Africa. One clue word, Africa. In the audio, they will talk about it. That was very dash. Now listen, magic. Want to see magic? Easy method. Yeah, some people trap students by teaching these methods. Very. Instead of very in the audio, they will use the word extremely. Right? Now second thing, whatever they say after extremely, that will be your आंसर. ये एक ही ट्रिक बताते हैं, बच्चे बेचारे कहते हैं वाह तो बहुत ही महान टीचर है. ठीक है, तो ये हर जगह नहीं लगती. ऐसे टीचर से भी बच के रहना है, ये जो आपको नहीं जादू से ऐसी ट्रिक्स बताएं एंड ऑल दैट. सो यू विल फोकस द वर्ड extremely. Whatever they say after extremely, that will be the answer.
Erosion is of course bad for people trying to grow crops or breed animals on that terrain. In the 1970s and 80s, Lal was studying soils in Africa, so devoid of organic matter that the ground had become extremely hard, like cement.
The ground had become extremely hard and then like cement. Now some will write very cement. Those who don't understand. I mean, if you understand, you know there is going to be something very. For very, they can use extremely, too much, or any other word like that. Okay, and the next bullet point does not have any question. You will let the audio go on, ba, 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 or you will go on. Then you will come to soil and carbon. So in the audio, they will speak about it. Next, we will talk about soil and carbon, or they will say any other thing. This is what I call signpost language. So we've got a handout on signpost language. I'll share that with you. Signpost language. In part 4, signpost language is very important. What is that? First of all, now let's move on to soil and carbon. You will find these phrases there. Soil and carbon. Plants turn carbon dioxide from the air into carbon-based substances such as, now look here, answer is a carbon-based substance. Right? Answer is that carbon-based substance. So they will tell us about it. Plants turn. By the way, for turn, now again I show you another magic. For turn, they will use the word transform. Plants to transform, they convert. So whatever they use after transform, after convert, right? So that is going to be your answer. Let's see what that is.
There he met a pioneer in the study of global warming, who suggested that carbon from the soil had moved into the atmosphere. This is now looking increasingly likely. Let me explain. For millions of years, carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere have been regulated, in part, by a natural partnership between plants and microbes, tiny organisms in the soil. Plants absorb CO2 from the air and transform it into sugars and other carbon-based substances.
Exactly. Transform them into sugar and other carbon-based substances. So sugar is carbon-based substance. They say sugar and other carbon-based substances. So the answer is sugar. Now don't write diabetes, okay? Just write sugar. S-U-G-A-R. Yeah, or you write brown sugar. Alright. Question number 34. Some CO2 moves. Now again, I'm going to give you something. For moves, they will use any other word. Focus that. Some CO2, carbon dioxide, moves from the dash of the plants. Answer is going to be the part of plant. Dash of the plant, leaves of the plant, branches of the plant, or anything like that, to microbes in the soil. So CO2 moves. Now let's see what is it that they move, right?
While a proportion of these carbon products remain in the plant, some transfer from the roots to fungi and soil microbes, which store the carbon in the soil.
Roots, and for move they use the word transfer. Some transfers from the roots. I play this again. Focus the word transfer.
While a proportion of these carbon products remain in the plant, some transfer from the roots to fungi and soil microbes.
Okay, some transfer from the roots, right? So transfer and move, they are the same, similar words. Okay, now there is a point, and then they will come to regenerative agriculture. When they come to regenerative agriculture, they will tell you very clearly about it. Let's move on to, or now we are going to talk about, next we will discuss regenerative agriculture. Question number 35 uses established practices to make sure soil remains fertile and, now two things. They usually use the word and. For and in the audio they might use the word also. For and they use the word or. Fertile or dash. Fertile and dash. Not only fertile but also fertile as well as. Now whatever they use the word, the answer is going to come with fertile, and it may come before fertile or it may come after fertile. Okay, root will also be correct. In 34 it will be correct. Yeah. So let's go on. 35 please.
Some growers have already started using an approach known as regenerative agriculture.
Yeah.
This aims to boost the fertility of soil and keep it moist through established practices.
Moist, yeah. So uses established practices to make sure soil remains fertile and moist. I play this again.
Some growers have already started using an approach known as regenerative agriculture. This aims to boost the fertility of soil and keep it moist through established practices.
Fertility. Instead of fertile, they use the word fertility and keep it moist. M-O-I-S-T. Very good. Question number 36. For example, through year-round planting. Now, just underline through year-round planting. You know what is through year-round planting? Throughout the year, you can plant anything. Now, when you are doing planting, for wheat, we have a season. For rice, we have a season. Now, it's the rice season. Even for other things, we've got the seasons, right? So, through year-round planting means the planting throughout the year. Then they say, through year-round planting and increasing the dash of plants that are grown. Increasing the dash of plants. It can be something which is related to the plants, okay? Okay guys, so 36, for example, through year-round planting and increasing. Now, underline the word increasing. And for increasing, they will use any other word, and after increasing, they will be your answer. Just keep in mind increasing. For increasing, let's see what is the word.
These include keeping fields planted all year round and increasing the variety of plants being grown.
Yeah, they use increasing, the same word. Increasing the variety of plants being grown. So, variety is the answer. Question number 37, California study taking place on a big, again magic. Answer will come after large. For big, they will use the word large. So, any other word. So, they talk about this California study and taking place on a big dash farm. Now, dash farm means type of farm. If they say large fruit farm, large agricultural farm, large type of farm, okay? So let's see what is that. Simple.
One American investigation into the potential for storing CO2 on agricultural lands is taking place in California. Soil scientist Wendy Silver of the University of California, Berkeley, is conducting a first-of-its-kind study on a large cattle farm in the state.
On a large cattle farm, K-E-T-T. Yeah, sahi answer ka satyanas ka. Yeah, cattle farm. So cattle is like, dairy farm and all that. Very good. Question number 38. Uses compost made from waste from agriculture. Now it is agricultural waste and another type of waste. So the answer is going to be the second type of waste. One waste is agriculture waste and second waste, now they will tell us what is that waste.
She and her students are testing the effects on carbon storage of the compost that is created from waste, both agricultural, including manure and corn stalks, and waste produced in gardens, such as leaves, branches, and lawn trimmings.
And waste produced from gardens, such as, and then they mentioned that. So gardens will be the right answer, right? Okay, gardens, G-A-R-D-E-N-S. I play this again.
She and her students are testing the effects on carbon storage of the compost that is created from waste, both agricultural, including manure and corn stalks, and waste produced in gardens, such as leaves.
Yeah. And waste produced in gardens such as mean for example. So leaves will not be the answer, gardens. Question number 39. Australia study aims to increase soil carbon by using dash that are always green. Something that is always green. Let's see what that is. That is always green.
In Australia, soil ecologist Christine Jones is testing another promising soil enrichment strategy. Jones and 12 farmers are working to build up soil carbon by cultivating grasses that stay green all year round.
Grasses, they stay green all year round. So the answer must be plural, grasses. G-R-A-S-S-E-S. Okay, let's go on. Question number 40. Future developments may include. So question number 40, giving farmers. Now listen, for give they use the word receive. If I say giving students, in the audio they might use the word students should receive. You understand? Students should receive. So giving farmers, for that they might use the word farmers should receive, and whatever they say after that, that will be the answer. Giving farmers dash for carbon storage as well as their produce.
It's hoped in the future that projects such as these will demonstrate the role that farmers and other land managers can play in reducing the harmful effects of greenhouse gases. For example, in countries like the United States, where most farming operations use large applications of fertilizer, changing such long-standing habits will require a change of system. Ratan Lal argues that farmers should receive payment, not just for the corn or beef they produce, but also
Farmers should receive payments. Now you write payment singular or payments plural, that will be the right answer. Okay, that's great. इसको ज़रा बंद कर दें.